I've been thinking about the Outer Wilds a lot recently. I mean, that's not exactly surprising. Like everyone else who played it, once the game got its hooks into my mind, it stayed lodged there, so much that outside of playing it to collect some footage here and there, I've not actually sat down to play the game for over a year. Yet, here I am, still thinking about it. Again, this isn't very surprising. I'm not the first person to comment that Outer Wilds is a game that is amazing to play through, but has little to no replayability value, which, for a game based on looping you through the same amount of time over and over and over again, is pretty ironic. It's a game which initially presents itself as a delightful little space romp. I once heard someone call the Outer Wilds an exploration game, where the point of the game is to make your way through this very adorable looking space adventure where you gradually uncover the truth about what's going on around you, through this fantastically crafted story that's drip fed to you in such an intriguing and sometimes subtle way that you constantly feel like you're on the verge of a new discovery. This person is a liar. The Outer Wilds is a 22-minute long panic attack disguised as a game. It is the gaming equivalent of racing to an electronics store to replace your broken freezer as you watch your dinner gradually melt and defrost in front of you. It is not an adorable looking space adventure where you gradually uncover the truth about what's going on around you. It's a series of ticking clocks that keep pulling you away from what you want to be doing while also subjecting you to a Lovecraftian nightmare and causing you to consider the futility of life. It's one of the best games I've ever played. As far as the game itself, it's fairly easy to understand. You play as a resident on the planet Timber Hearth and are about to launch on your very first space adventure. You wake up, camping under the stars with your ship's engineer before going to retrieve the launch codes from machine control. On your way, you explore a bit more of your small home, with many things operating as a tutorial for things like traversal, and eventually make your way to the observatory. There, you encounter this strange and odd-looking statue of an ancient alien species known as the Nomai that once seemed to occupy this galaxy, and from it you receive some kind of vision. Shrugging it off, you get the launch codes, return to your ship, and set sail for the stars for the first time, and just as your first ever adventure is beginning, you die. The sun explodes, engulfing your small galaxy in a bright white light, and you can do nothing but sit and watch as it takes you to. You wake up, camping under the stars with your ship's engineer, and thus the game truly begins. You take off to the stars, searching for anything you can about what's going on, why the sun exploded, why you've looped back, and who the Nomai are. You explore the far-off worlds, traverse strange ruins and decode ancient languages, all to no avail. The sun explodes, engulfing your small galaxy in a bright white light, and you can do nothing but sit and watch as it takes you to. And then you wake up, camping under the stars with your ship's engineer. Eventually, through failure after failure after failure, you discover more about the Nomai, that they weren't creatures who came before, but were in fact travelers of their own from a far-off part of space, trying to find the fabled Eye of the Universe, who during their expedition crashed into the dark bramble and were spread throughout the system. These ancient ruins are the homes they made for themselves, or while they continued to study the galaxy around them and tried to reach their goal. They create a great series of technological marvels to scout the galaxy, shooting probes off in random directions, hoping to find the Eye of the Universe. And then once one has succeeded, they would induce a supernova, harnessing that energy to send the probe back in time, and thus reducing the length of the search. This plan was known as the Ash Twin Project. However, they failed. Unable to induce a supernova, and while they sought a solution, they would wipe themselves out investigating a comet and unleashing a dangerous and toxic material. Their creations and homes lie abandoned for hundreds and thousands of years, until the sun goes supernova naturally and a single Hearthian, trapped in a 22-minute time loop, is all that remains of their grand vision. But even with that knowledge, it's not enough. You continue to fail again and again. You find passages you can't access, technology that doesn't work, and all the time it feels like the galaxy is fighting against you. You watch as stars burn out and turn to nothing, and all these great endeavors collapse around you. You can't even warn your friends. Even if you could, what's the point? They can't escape it, and now neither can you. You're stuck, trying and failing over and over, and it seems no matter how hard you try, it always ends the same. You always end up back at the start. and all your progress gone. It's a feeling I'm all too familiar with. Ever since I was a kid, I knew I wanted to tell stories, to make things that people enjoy, and I've pursued that like a moth to a flame. Whatever medium, whatever platform, I've given it a go. I've tried to write books, make comics, make films, and make YouTube videos. You wouldn't know it from looking at it, but this channel's over 10 years old. I started it with my best friend back when we were 12, and he still gets a special thanks in everything I do to this day. We tried to be your typical gameplay YouTubers, creating small films and let's plays, and eventually that fell apart. Then I tried going at it alone. I did commentary videos and vlogs, but that failed too. Finally I ended up here, writing video essays and wanting to make mini documentaries. And I really enjoy it, and I get to analyze things and talk about why I love art. But even now I feel like I'm failing. For every video that comes out of this channel, there's 10 or more ideas that have been scrapped. Thoughts I've come up with in the dead of night and scrambled to my computer to write down, only for the idea to leave my mind faster than I can put them to paper. Or worse, they'll stick to the page, and when I return to actually make something from them, I find I'm no longer satisfied with the thoughts I've come up with. So I'll can it, try again, rewrite. Maybe this one does well. Maybe I like the way this one sounds, and before that passion leaves me, I race to start production. I record a voiceover and I start gathering footage, but then something happens. Real life takes over, or there's an issue with the recording, or I find that after playing the game again, my point was actually wrong and I've misremembered key details. And while I try to work around it, salvage what I can, with every hurdle I feel myself stumbling back down the track. By the time I reach the end, I'm no longer satisfied with the results. I look at a video, a film, and attempt at writing one of my many ideas for a piece of fiction, and I hate it. I try to tell myself it's okay, to power through, that I'll get it right on the next one, but the next one never comes, because I can't stop myself from going back, tweaking the work until I get it right. Because if it's not right, if it doesn't do what I want to do, say what I want to say, if it doesn't reflect the standards I have for myself, then what's the point in making it? I should just stop trying, delete it and start again, go back to the beginning and get rid of all these failed attempts, because I know I could make something good if I could just get it right. You wake up, camping under the stars with your ship's engineer. You make your way to your ship, and using the knowledge from before, you begin to plot your route. You gain a little bit more information with every failure, and you begin to harness that information to navigate the galaxy. Finally, you find your way to the Ash Twin project, and take the warp core back to the Nomai ship, and you use that to find the eye of the universe. And as the universe dies behind you, you sit in the eye, and for what remains, you craft something new. You pool all that knowledge, all those experiences, and all those failed attempts, and you're finally able to make something from it. The Outer Wilds isn't a game about being stuck in a loop. It's a game about never giving up, about daring to keep trying. Even after crashing in an impossible planet, losing everything they had travelled with, the Nomai never gave up trying to find the eye of the universe. They never faltered from their goals to seek out and to understand. And even when they all eventually passed, their goal was unknowingly carried on by the Hearthians, who took off to the stars themselves in order to study and understand. And that's what the Outer Wilds is. It's a game building upon itself, using knowledge earned through so many unsuccessful attempts, again and again until you finally get it right. Finally, you break the loop.